I'm going to talk a little bit about growth intelligence, and I look forward to meeting some of you later on. So, growth intelligence is out to kill scattergun sales. Scattergun, shotgun, telemarketing that a bank or an insurance company or a large B2B company selling telecoms or technology would do to sell to SMEs. Now, let me explain that in a bit more detail. Now, imagine you're a salesperson looking to sell, say, a lot of computer hardware or a letter of credit or a short-term loan or some other product that a bank has to SMEs in the marketplace. Now, at the moment, the only way you have of targeting companies is by using traditional marketing lists. Now, these are selected using company's house information or the equivalent in another European country or SIC codes. Now, growth intelligence is able to create much, much more focused targeting lists. In fact, they're 250 times more focused. That means that you as a salesperson or an origination person at an investment bank or a retail bank looking for businesses that you can sell certain products to, you have to call 250 times fewer people to get the same return. So with growth intelligence, we're opening up new markets that were just too embarrassing to access before. One example is we've just completed a very successful trial with a very large insurer. They had to call 500 companies before one company said, yes, I have a need for your product. With growth intelligence, it was 1 in 2, hence the 250 times improvement. Now, the problem that we solve is that the best information about a company's performance is currently a company's house in the UK or the equivalent in another European country. Now, the UK actually has the best private company information in the world, but it's still, on average, 16 months old. The best information you have about a company's activities is an SIC code or an NAIC code in the US, but they all have the same problems. In the UK, 20% of all businesses either don't have a SIC code or the SIC code is other. I mean, we're in other, so we're guilty of this as well. SIC codes are subjective, and SIC code stands for Standard Industry Classification, by the way. I should have said that at first. They give someone they put companies in buckets. And that's just not how companies behave. It makes it very difficult to target. So growth intelligence solves this with real-time intelligence. Growth intelligence tracks the performance and the activity of every company in the economy in real time. It also tracks, incidentally, the entire economy's productivity in real time as well, and I'll talk more about that later. So all companies give off a digital signature on the web. All companies have information about how many emails they've received, how many emails they're sending, how much stuff with their name on it goes in and out of ports around the world every day, how many computers are connected to the web, how much they're spending on Google, how many employees they've got, how much the director's house is worth by looking up Zoopla, a whole range of different things. And we employ a great team, which I'll mention later, to crunch all of this data with our own classification system, which is much better than SIC codes, to turn these patterns of behavior into the key metrics that our clients are interested in, which is turnover. And that allows us to track the performance and the activity of every company in the economy in real time. So here's a live example. Last week, we did a project for a bank, and we identified 900 companies that currently have either no or other SIC codes. And this was the distribution. So using growth intelligence, you're able to distinguish them. So here's 900 companies. As a bank currently, I have no way to distinguish a company here, which is the Kent County Cricket Club, from this company here, which is LX Engineering. Now imagine if I want to sell a certain product to them, like, let's say, foreign exchange. At the moment, I just have to call them all. With growth intelligence, you can go up and draw a circle around the companies that are the biggest opportunity for you. Incidentally, you can also identify the companies that you want to avoid at all costs. So let's say there's a high street money exchange, which puts you at risk of collusion in fraud or money laundering. Using growth intelligence, so they might have an SIC code which puts them as a tree surgeon, let's say. With growth intelligence, you can identify them, and you can find others like them. So here's a heat map of growth. So I've shown you a bit about what our classification system looks like, and just because I didn't make it quite clear, we classify companies by their similarity according to language. So these lines are, the length of them is relative to how similar they are in the language they use and the language that other people use about them. With growth, this is a heat map of London showing turnover growth over the last 12 months up to last Friday. And you can see there's a big heat map right over here where we are, which I'm very pleased to say we're in this building. We work from here, so I think that's probably us. And yeah, so we're 80% accurate at putting companies into 4 different categories, either fast growing, growing, neutrally growing, or negatively growing. So this is how it works. We mine your CRM. We learn the patterns of behavior that led up to a sale of a certain product. And then we look at the whole market. So this is the pattern of, this is actually a screenshot from our system. You've got events, and then you've got turnover with the forecasted, or now casted, as it's called, cone on the front showing their turnover up to the present day. We learn a pattern from that, and then go out to the universe of companies and find other companies exhibiting similar patterns of behavior. And that brings you back windows of opportunity in which to target the company. So just go to the next slide. We have a number of clients. What they have in common is they're looking to engage with fast-growing companies in fast-growing sectors, working with 75% of the retail banks in the UK and a top 2 investment bank for equity research. We have a traditional pricing model. We have a great team from Detica, IHS, KPMG, EADS, and that's Growth Intelligence. Thank you very much.
Thank you.